Good day mga kamatiks! Kumusta kayong lahat dyan? Andito naman ako si Sir Novero at welcome sa ating panibagong video. Okay? Sa last video natin, we discussed about the first case on simplifying radicals, which is extracting the root. Now we're going to discuss the case 2 on simplifying radicals, factoring the radicand. Alright? So again, case 2, factoring the radicand. First, let's have a review first on the laws of radicals. Okay? So, last case, we primarily use these two concepts, right? So, these two laws. Now, in this video, we're going to include this law. Okay? This one is the very main law that we're going to apply in the following examples and process of simplifying radicals. Okay, so suppose the index of a radical is n, then factor the radicand so that one or more of the factor is a perfect n power. So if we put this into radical symbol, nth root of AB, okay, and then we express them as factors. Okay, so nth root of A and nth root of B. So this means that either A or B is a perfect power of n, okay, or B can be a perfect power of n. And if that's the case, we can apply the first law of radicals, which is this one. Okay, so this process is called removing factors from the radicand. Okay, so for us to see clearly what this concept is, we proceed to the examples. First example is cube root of 16. Now, I wasn't able to give it to you in advance, but if you are familiar with Kim Chu, with her song Bawal Lumabas, or classroom law, right? So we're going to apply that concept here. So, bawal lumabas sa radical sign, because the radicand might violate if it persists to or insists to go outside. Right? So 16 can be expressed as 2 to the power of 4. Right? But this one is not allowed to go outside because we cannot divide 4 by 3. So we're going to apply this part. Separate this 2 to the power of 4. How? Right, so it's 2 cubed times 2. What happened to the 2 to 4? So it becomes 2 cubed times 2 to the power of 1. If you combine this 2, you can come up with this one. 2 to the power of 4. So 3 plus 1, so it's 4. Alright? Now we apply this part. We separated the 2. We have cube root of 2 cubed times cube root of 2. Now in this part, this one, we can now allow it to go outside because it followed the rule. But this one, keep it as it is. Okay, so we just have to copy it and then copy and allow, and then until we come up with the final answer. So this one can be expressed or simplified already. Okay, so we cancel. So using the first rule, cancel. So we now have 2 times cube root of 2, which gives us the final answer, 2 cube root of 2. Okay, next example, square root of b to the power of 7. So this one is not allowed yet to go outside, but we can apply the law, b6 times b, right? So 6 plus 1 is 7, so that's why b6 times b. And then we separate them, so square root of b6 times square root of b. And then this part here can now allow this part here to go outside the radical sign because it followed the rule already. So this one, and then this one we just have to copy until we come up with the final answer. So we express it as a radical or rational exponent. Still remember rational exponent. So this is your power 6, and then this is your base b, and then the root, or okay, so we have 2. So 6 over 2 is b cubed times square root of b, which gives us the final answer of b cubed square root of b. Okay, so from square root of b7, we now have the simplified form b cubed square root of b. Okay, next example. We have cube root of 54x to the power of 5. Again, this is not allowed to go outside, so we need to break it down. So 54, take note, we can express it as 27 times 2. Okay, and then x cubed times x squared. Okay, so we can also, in this part, we now group all those terms that are in perfect power of 3, which is 27 and x cubed, alright? Okay, so then we write the rest of those terms which are not in perfect power of 3 to another group of radicals. So we have 2 times x squared. This part here, we can now allow it to go outside because it followed the rule. Okay, so cube root of 27 times x cubed times cube root of 2 times x squared. Then we can express 27 as 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 cubed. Take note that this part is not allowed to go outside, so we leave it as it is, and then copy until we get the same, until we get the final answer. So we express 27 as 3 times 3 times 3 times, and then just copy the rest. And then we express them into rational exponent, 3 to the power of 3 over 3 times x to the power of 3 over 3. And then just copy this too. Actually, you can multiply them already, so you come up with 2x squared, right? And then we simplify the fraction or the rational exponent. So 3 over 3 is 1, 3 over 3 is 1, so we have 3x times cube root of 2x squared, which gives us the final answer of 3x cube root of 2x squared. Alright, let's proceed to the next example. Fourth root of 243x to the power of 15. Now, actually, you can have it. You need to have the skill of advanced thinking, right? So you need to think of a number which is a factor of 243, and also it is a perfect n power, or perfect power of 4. So, and then also in 15, you think in advance that an expression here which is in perfect power of 4. So we express 243 as 81 times 3, alright? So because 81 is in perfect power of 4 and x12 is in perfect power of 4. Okay? And then we express 81, or I mean we group those variables and terms which is in perfect n power of 4. And then we express 81 as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 3 to the power of 4, and then times x12. And then take note, this part is not allowed yet to go outside, so we just have to copy them until we come up with the final answer. So in this part, we express them into rational exponent. So 3 to the power of 4 over 4 times x to the power of 12 over 4 times 4th root of 3x cubed. Take note, this is just equal to 1, and then 12 over 4 is just equal to 3. So 3x cubed, right? So 12 over 4 is 3, and then 4 over 4 is 1. Times this one, 4th root of 3x cubed, which gives us the final answer of 3x cubed, 4th root of 3x cubed. Okay, so take note of that. Next is negative 2x cube root of 16x 6y 7 z 10. So this time we have a lot of variables. Okay, and then we also have a number outside. Okay, so bawal lumabas. And then we express this one. So advanced thinking, a factor of 16 which is in perfect power of 3, a factor of x6 which is already a perfect power of 3, a factor of y7 which is in perfect power of 3 which is y6, then z10, z9. Okay, so we group all those variables that are in perfect power of 3, which is 8, x6, y6, and then times z9. Then the rest, 2yz, is on the other group. Okay, so we just have to copy whatever in the outside, whatever the variables and numbers that are outside the radical. Then we express 8, also this part here, sumunod sa labas, so pwede na itong lumabas. And then this one's not allowed to go outside, so we just have to copy them. Then we express 8 as 2 times 2 times 2. Then we express them into rational exponents. So 2 to the power of 3 over 3, 6 over 3, y to the power of 6 over 3, z to the power of 9 over 3. If you divide them, this is 1, this is 2, this is 2, this is 3. Okay? And then we multiply the negative 2 and 2, then the x and x squared, which gives us the final answer of negative 4x cubed y squared z cubed cube root of 2yz. Right? Next, 5xy fourth root of 16x9 y5z. So again, it's not allowed to go outside. So we have to express them in this form, 16x9, so a factor of x9 which is in perfect power of 4, x8, a factor of y5 which is in perfect power of y4, of 4, so which is y4, and then yz. So we group those variables and terms that are in perfect power of 4. So, and then this part now is now allowed to go outside, and then just copy the rest. This one is not allowed to go outside. So we express 16 as 2 to the power of 4, and then times x8 times y4, and then 4 to xyz. Just copy whatever the 5xy. Then we express them into rational exponent 4 over 4, 2 to the power of 4 over 4, 8 over x to the power of 8 over 4, y to the power of 4 over 4. Then we simplify them. This is 1, and then this is 2, this is 1. Then 5xy quantity 2x squared y, 4 root of xyz. If you multiply 5 times 2, that's 10, x times x squared, that's x cubed, y times y, that's y squared. So 10x cubed y squared, 4th root of xyz. Right? Okay, so let's have the final example. Negative 2 square root of 72 a5 b7 c 2a squared b squared z c4. First, the whole radicand is not allowed to go outside. So first we need to simplify the radicand, which gives us negative 2 square root of 72 over 2 is 36. a5 over a squared is a cubed, so you just have to subtract 5 minus 2. Then b7 over b squared is b5. C, if you subtract them, you can have c negative 3, but you have to put them in the denominator to make it positive. And then we group, or we look for a factor which is in perfect power of 2. So 6 squared a squared times a times b4 times b over c squared times c. Then we regroup them. Okay, so this one are allowed to go outside, but this one is not allowed. And then we express them into rational exponent, 6a 2 over 2, a over 2 over 2, then b 4 over 2, c 2 over 2, and then just copy. Simplify 1, 1, and then this is 2, this is 1, and multiply, so negative 12ab squared over c squared of ab conversation.